what is your actual approach for hunting CRP land? And I know there's different types of CRP, and so let's just kind of look at this from a perspective of some warm season grasses or pollinators, because I think that's what, or even cool season grasses too, because I think there's a lot of that. Well, there's at least a lot of cool season grass CRP where I'm at, not as much out here. But
right.
What's your approach? What excites you, and what makes you kind of think?
You know, we spent all the time this week or weekend at my new farm, but the best answer of that question, like what's the best way to incorporate CRP and a hunting strategy? The best example of that is going to be on my farm right around here by the lake. Mm-hmm. And what we've done there, using tall prairie grass, which is primarily cover, and then using the shorter one, which is much higher in forbs mm-hmm. and wildflowers, and we're actually treating that as food sources. We're not treating them
general browse.
Yeah, general browse. We don't want it as we're not using them as destination food plots, but just general feeding areas for the deer. And with it's actually because FSA now requires 2 cover types in a CRP contract. I'm trying to think, a tall grass and a short grass. You can't do just all of one. At least all the ones I enrolled this year were that way. We were required to pick 2 cover types or 2 seeding types, which from a hunter standpoint works out absolutely perfect mm-hmm. because anywhere that you want cover, screening, bedding, that type of cover, that's your tall prairie grass. Mm-hmm. Anywhere we'd rather want more food, that's your, your 30-10 mix or something like that, with more forbs and less grasses. So mm-hmm. I'm pretty excited about that because we're literally, and the greatest thing, it's CRP, so you're getting paid on all of it.
Yeah.
But like on that farm, I've got 7 miles of clover fire breaks. I've got 100 and something acres of tall bedding cover. I've got 60 acres of forbs for food. So I'm building in year-round food sources, access, everything mm-hmm. into that CRP. It's really excellent. And this farm that we're on yesterday, I've sort of am bound to some degree by what was enrolled in the past and what rules are in place. I'm not starting from scratch, but I'll amend what I can. But my farm over here, my Appanoose County farm, that's the one that's really going to be a showcase of what you can do with CRP from a hunting standpoint. So
yeah, that makes sense. And I think what about let's say someone was able to get permission on a mainly CRP farm. How do you go about breaking that down? Is it literally kind of finding the trees and potential pinch points? And
depending on how much control you're given by the landowner, if it was a permission farm, if you were allowed to do something as simple as mowing, even CRP that they can walk through, if you're allowed to mow trails where you want them to walk, that's a huge plus. You can take 2 or 3 trails, like a wagon wheel, bring them into one, mm-hmm. and then bring that one past your stand, because they will generally, when they travel to bed, they don't take the same trail every day. But if you give them 3 options that all lead to one option, you can really use that CRP as a funnel. Yeah. And that helps take away sort of when you stand there staring at an ocean of native grass, you can start to break it down, and that's a way to make something like that bow huntable.
Yeah.
So
that's a very simple, useful tool.
Yeah, another little thing like that, and again, this one you'd probably have to ask FSA and NRCS. I don't know if they're going to be down with it, but if you have an area along the road and you have good native grass, this could even be on a permission place. If you get urea fertilizer, nitrogen fertilizer, and just walk through it with a broadcast spreader, if you do that as soon as you start to get hot weather in June, hopefully ahead of a rain, you can almost double the size of that grass. So you can create thicker, taller, screen, or if you just want to make one area of the field act as more of a bedding cover than the rest, you can do that. And you're talking, a bag of urea is $20. So, 3 or 4 bags in a couple hours of time with a broadcast spreader, you can really change the dynamics of a CRP field from a hunting standpoint.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I never even want to consider.
Yeah, yep. So,
tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade, exactly. All the things we learn as we go.